Hi everyone, I'm Catherine. Thank you so much for coming back to another What's for Dinner, where I compile 4 to 5 dishes that my family has eaten in the prior week and I post them for you on Sunday. Alright, I'm Catherine with Catherine's Plates, where I cook for you, bake for you, do grocery hauls, and What's for Dinners. If you're new to my channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below with that bell notification and you'll always know when my shows are posted. Alright, if you are ready, we're going to begin with a favorite day of the week for us where I can throw a dinner together, let it roast all day. Those are our favorites. So if you are ready, let's get started. Welcome to What's for Dinner. We're starting this off on a Sunday because my husband has been requesting Swiss steak. And his favorite way to have it is in the oven, so where all the flavors and everything just meld together. And I know you can get almost that same effect in the crock pot, but sometimes he doesn't like the way the meat cooks in there, the texture of it. So he loves it in the oven, so that's what we're going to be doing. So I got my Dutch oven right here. This is pretty much almost like a pantry dish here, y'all. All you're going to need really is some really round steak or cube steaks. Now if you use round steaks, you can just pound them out just a little bit. I'm going to put some vegetables in, some carrots and onions, just kind of roughly chop those. And then everything else I just kind of pulled out of my pantry, which I have 2 cans of beef broth here, 2 cans of diced tomatoes. I've got some salt, pepper, garlic powder, paprika, Worcestershire sauce, a little bit of olive oil to saute the vegetables with, and we got some cornstarch we're going to use later as a thickener, and we're going to determine how much we're going to need for that. And then I got a bag of potatoes over there because we're going to be making some mashed potatoes to go with it, so we can put the Swiss steak over it, which is how my husband likes it. You know what, I also need to put some let me just put those in the picture here, green peppers. There we go, green peppers. Alright y'all, so I'm going to go ahead and get started, and what we're going to do is I'm just going to mix up the flour mixture. It's going to have all the seasonings in it. I'm going to dredge the cube steaks here with it, and then I'm going to cook it in my Dutch oven here. Just sear it on all sides and then roughly chop the vegetables, put those in there. Put the rest of the stuff in, and then in the oven it goes. And it's going to sit in there for about 3 hours. That's why this is a really good Sunday dish. Alright, so while my vegetables are sauteing down just a little bit here, I'm going to go ahead now, and I'm just using a flat dish, and I'm going to be adding all of my flour and seasonings just so I can dredge my cube steaks on, and then I'll pull out the vegetables, sear my cube steaks with the flour on them and the seasonings, and then put everything back into my Dutch oven here and then put it in the oven. So let's get started. Alright, I'm just putting a little bit of beef broth on the bottom of the pan just to kind of deglaze just a little bit. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead now and start layering my beef, some of the veggies, some of the tomato sauce, some tomatoes, like that. Push it all into liquid. Oh boy, this is going to be good. My husband's drooling right now. He's got to wait 3 hours. I'm putting the lid on. This is going to go into my oven for 3 hours. That's been preheating at 350 degrees, and we'll be back. Alright, so we've got pats of butter going into our potatoes that I've strained. Got some milk going in there. My husband is the mashed potato maker. He loves making the mashed potatoes. Alright, this is what's for dinner Sunday evening. I've made some Swiss steak in my Dutch oven with some peppers, carrots, onions, tomatoes, and beef broth, and lots of yummy seasonings. Put this over some homemade mashed potatoes that I cooked in the Instant Pot, and then some seasoned green beans. Alright, what's for dinner tonight? I am making chicken barbecue tostadas. Now, this is an old recipe I'm bringing back because my family is like, when are we ever going to eat those again? So I've pulled this off of my blog, and I also have a video out there also, but I'm going to link it down below in the description box if you want to watch the full video of this. I'm going to run through this really quick since I do have a blog out there and a video. So I'm going to be using some corn tostada shells here, and these are the flat variety. And then I'm going to be using some refried beans to kind of hold the chicken barbecue mixture on top of it. That's going to be the barbecue sauce we're using. Got some green onions that I'm going to dice up and put on top of it. Got some Monterey Jack cheese here. Now, if you have somebody in your family like I do that doesn't really like refried beans, you can certainly sprinkle some cheddar cheese of some sort on the tostada. Use that as the glue, like the beans will be, to hold everything onto it. And then I've got my rotisserie chicken over here that I've started chopping up a little bit of. Now, when you make these, you want to use fully cooked chicken. So I'm using a rotisserie chicken just because it's got a lot of flavor to it and it's easy to use. You can also use roasted chicken. You can boil your chicken and shred it. All right, y'all, let's get started building this. Now, while I'm dicing up the chicken, make sure that you go ahead and preheat your oven to 350 degrees. I like it in little pieces so it mixes really well with the barbecue sauce. Alright, I'm just going to lay my tostadas on the pan here. I think we're going to and I'll be making another pan. So I'm just smearing the beans onto my tostadas very carefully because we don't want to break the tostadas. And like I said, you can also just put some cheese on the other ones for the non-bean lovers in the house. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead now and place my chicken barbecue mixture right on top. I'm just going to top it off with some of this Monterey Jack cheese. Alright, these are going to go into my oven that's been preheating at 350 degrees for just about 6 to 8 minutes. We're just going to keep an eye on it. We want that cheese to be nice and bubbly golden brown. While this is in the oven cooking, I'm going to go ahead and start slicing up my green onions. Alright, these have just come out of the oven. Look how nice those look. I'm going to go ahead now and add my sliced green onions so they kind of stick to the cheese. Alright, that is what's for dinner tonight. Barbecued chicken tostadas. Welcome to another what's for dinner. It's actually morning time and I'm going to put all of this into my crock pot. What I'm making is chicken and stuffing. Sounds delicious. And then I have all these lovely ingredients here that are going to go in with it. So to get started, I'm going to go ahead and layer my chicken into my crock pot, and then I'm going to season it with some paprika, garlic powder, salt and pepper on both sides. And the first thing that I'm going to do is spray the inside of my crock pot. Alright, so what I'm going to do is take my stovetop stuffing here, both boxes, and just pour it all over the chicken. Alright, so now I'm going to go ahead and make the mixture that I'm going to pour over the cornbread dressing. And I'm going to be putting into a medium bowl my cream of chicken soups, about 1 cup of sour cream and 2 cups of chicken broth. That's it, y'all. I'm going to go ahead now and put my lid on it, and I'm going to cook this for 7 hours today on low. You can do it on high also, between 4 and 5 hours. Just check your chicken afterwards, make sure it's done. We'll be back. Alright, I'm going to take the lid off now. Oh, it looks so delicious in there. Alright, I'm going to get a plate, and I'm going to plate this up and show you what's for dinner. My what's for dinner, I've got chicken and stuffing from the crock pot, and then we have kind of an Asian salad that we put together that we had picked up from Costco. What's for dinner tonight? Here's a quick view of my pierogi and sausage casserole that I made for my family this week. A full video did go out this past week. If you're interested, I will have it linked down below in my description box. What you're going to need is a package of frozen pierogi. About 18 to 36 of them will work for this. You will need some chicken broth, some cracked black pepper, some cheddar cheese shredded, some sour cream, kielbasa sausage, and some cream cheese, and then a casserole dish. So we're going to start by cooking up the pierogi, and so I got some boiling water here. I'm going to add some salt to it. Now I'm going to be doing these in just 2 batches, that way they all don't stick together and they have room to move around and all of that. No overcrowding. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and place my casserole dish pretty close to this because I'm going to start straining these, placing them in the casserole dish. Start my second batch. And then I'm going to go ahead now and add a pat of butter, swirl that around, and get all of the pierogis nice and buttered up. And then that butter will also help stick to the casserole dish and get that nice and buttered up. Doesn't that look good? Look at those pierogis. Little pillows of goodness. Alright, so I've got my Polska kielbasa here. You can use any kind of sausage that you would like. I'm just using that because we like that flavor. It's pretty good. What I'm doing is I'm slicing these just into the little disc sizes here, and I'm going to place them into my pierogi dish. Now, how many you want in there is totally up to you. Now, this looks really good right here. I'm going to mix this up with my little spurtle looking thing here. Alright, so for the cream cheese mixture, I am going to be placing 4 ounces of cream cheese into a bowl. Now you want this really softened. Now I'm going to be grating some cheddar cheese. About half a cup will go into the bowl with my cream cheese. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead now and crack some black pepper into it. Now this is per taste, so whatever you want in there, or if you don't want to crack it, you can also put just some regular black pepper in there. Alright, I'm going to put some chicken broth in, about half of a cup. You can put more in if you want, but I wouldn't put any less because it holds as the sauce and you don't want it too thick. Alright, so I've got about half a cup of sour cream going in. We're going to have some creamy goodness going on here. We're going to go ahead and just stir this up. Now you want to be very careful because you got that liquid in there and you don't want it to slosh over like it just happened. Alright, I've got a good mix here. What I'm going to do now, let's pour this all over the pierogi and sausage. Gosh, look at that. You know where I'm going with this one, right? Alright, I'm going to go ahead now and stir carefully and make sure that all the pierogi and the sausage is covered with that creamy, cheesy sauce here. Oh, that looks really good. Okay. Alright, that's what it looks like. I'm going to go ahead now and put a sheet of tin foil over this. It's going to go in my preheated oven at 375 degrees for 22 to 25 minutes. I'm going to be taking this out, taking the tin foil off, putting some more cheese on top of it, putting it back in my oven on broil for 3 to 5 minutes to melt some cheese on the top. Alright, in the meantime, while that's happening, I'm going to go ahead now and I've cleaned off my broccoli and some cauliflower, and I'm just going to be making a side of this. I'm going to be steaming the broccoli and cauliflower in the microwave. So I'm going to just cut up my little florets here. We like broccoli, fresh broccoli and cauliflower. Boy, it just makes it all for you, doesn't it? Alright, so I'm using one of these little zip and steam bags. These are great. You put all of your veggies in here, your raw veggies, and you zip it up, and then you are able to microwave it according to the directions on the back of the bag. Y'all, stuff this full. You saw what I cut. It's all went in there. As long as you can put it in there and zip it up, it's not too many. Alright, I'm getting a good seal on that. Now on the back here, like I said, there's the instructions on what you're cooking and how long you want to cook it for, depending on how soft or how tender or how crunchy you want your vegetables. Alright y'all, my pierogi sausage casserole came out of the oven. I'm going to pull off the tin foil here very carefully because I don't want the steam to give me a facial today. It's too hot for that. Oh, look at that. We've been smelling this in the house. It smells so delicious for the past 20 minutes. All right, here's my extra shredded cheese that I'm just going to go ahead and put on. Fill in all of the little nooks and crannies. Want it to make it look good. All right, y'all, back in the oven for about 3 to 5 minutes on broil and get that cheese nice and melted and bubbly. There it is, y'all. What do you think? I'm thinking delicious. All right. There's my pierogi sausage casserole, and it smells amazing. There we go. And then all I did was steam up some broccoli and cauliflower to go with it. And I'm ready to taste one for you. Oh. That's delicious. All right, y'all, that's what's for dinner tonight. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for coming to my What's for Dinner this week. I hope it inspired you to make one or several of my dishes. Now, I am open to doing a recipe, so if you want to include something down in the comment section, let me know. And who knows, one day you might be seeing your recipe and I'll shout you out. All right, everyone, make sure you give me a thumbs up. And if you're new to my channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below with that bell notification, and you'll always know when my shows are posted. I will see you on my next episode.